Okay, let's get into this. We're looking at what really makes teams tick.
Yeah, the core stuff. How
Mhm.
they develop, what a good culture looks like.
Uh-huh. And how vision pulls everyone together. Plus, why sharing knowledge is so critical.
Exactly. The idea is to pull out the practical insights here, things you can actually
Right.
use.
Whether you're leading, joining, or just trying to work better with people, understanding this helps.
Definitely gives you an edge. So, where do we start? Teams don't just magically perform, right?
No, not at all. There's a journey involved. They sort of evolve.
That's a good way to put it. There are models like Tuckman's that map out these typical stages.
Okay, so first up is forming,
Forming, yeah. That's the initial phase. Everyone's usually polite, maybe a bit reserved.
kind of testing the waters, figuring out the task, who's who.
Exactly. A bit of uncertainty often.
Then comes the maybe less comfortable part, storming.
Ah, yes, storming. This is where things can get bumpy. Disagreements pop up.
Over roles or how to approach the work. Maybe personality clashes.
Could be any of those. Ideas clash, people might compete a little, but it sounds bad, but it's actually really important.
Important how.
Well, it's where you hash things out. Clarify expectations. If you handle the conflicts well, the team gets stronger.
So the leader's job there is kind of managing that constructive friction.
Pretty much. And helping roles become clearer.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they get through that storm,
Mm-hmm.
what's next? Norming.
Norming. Yeah. Things start to stabilize here. Cohesion builds.
People feel a bit safer maybe, sharing ideas more openly.
Definitely. Processes get established. Trust starts to grow. It feels more like a team, like a we.
Which hopefully leads to performing,
That's the goal. The team is functioning well, focused, solving problems. They're in the zone.
working effectively as a unit. The leader here is more about empowering them, right? Removing obstacles.
Exactly. Enabling success.
And then there's often an end, adjourning.
Right. When the task is done or the team disbands, wrapping things up, acknowledging the work.
Closure is important there. Okay, so that's the team's life cycle, sort of.
Hmm.
But what about the atmosphere they work in? The culture?
Ah, culture. Yeah, that's fundamental. It's like the shared rules of the road, the values, the behaviors, how people interact.
And a positive culture. That's a huge factor for success, isn't it?
Massive. And a few key things contribute to that, like psychological safety.
That's a big one. Feeling safe enough to speak up, ask questions, even admit mistakes.
Without fear of being shut down or punished, absolutely crucial. If people don't feel safe, they hold back.
And you lose valuable input. So related to that is open communication
Definitely. Having clear ways to talk honestly and respectfully.
and accountability. Not like blaming, but owning your part.
Exactly. Taking responsibility, following through, trusting others will too.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And also continuous improvement, learning from things that don't go perfectly.
Yes. Seeing mistakes as chances to learn, not failures to hide. And, the leader really sets the example for all of this.
They model the behavior they want to see. Okay. So great culture, people feel safe, but they need direction too.
Which brings us to vision and goals. Having that shared understanding of why we're doing this.
The purpose
Yeah.
connects everyone. And then figuring out how the approach.
And the what? The specific goals. They mention things like SMART goals.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Yeah, makes sense. Gives clear targets.
Focuses the team's energy effectively.
So we have the journey, the culture, the direction, but people need to actually work together.
Right, collaboration and knowledge sharing. You can't succeed if everyone works in a silo.
No single person has all the answers. It's about pooling that collective brain power.
And you facilitate that. Maybe structure work so people have to interact.
Or create specific times to share, like lessons learned sessions.
Good idea. And using tools that make sharing easy, of course. But fundamentally,
It comes back to culture again, doesn't it? Valuing that sharing.
absolutely, making it the norm, not the exception. It breaks down barriers, speeds up learning for everyone.
Okay, so quick recap. We've walked through the stages teams often go through, the importance of a supportive culture, how a clear vision guides them, and why collaboration and sharing knowledge are just essential.
Yeah, understanding these pieces can really change how effectively a team works and honestly, how it feels to be part of one.
It really can. So here's something for you to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Reflect on a team you've been on. Good or bad experience, doesn't matter. Which one of these elements we talked about, the stage it was in, the culture, the vision's clarity, or how well people collaborated and shared, which one do you think had the biggest impact, positive or negative, on how that team performed? Something to chew on.